Right now, we are looking back at some of our favorite stories of the past year, including a father who faced devastating floods to get to his daughter's wedding.
Plus, a Knoxville native's big win turned out to be a big deal for local theater. He recalls the moment his life changed forever.
And one of Knoxville's most well-known celebrities marked a milestone in 2024. We're celebrating Big Al and his 50-plus years at Zoo Knoxville. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm Brittany Bailey, and welcome to our look back at some of our favorite stories from the past year.
And I'm Robin Wilhoit. Today, we are looking back at some of the stories that made headlines in 2024 and the amazing people who touched so many of us. No doubt, the aftermath of Hurricane Helene topped our headlines for months.
The devastation left behind in much of our area, and especially in western North Carolina, is astounding, and it's being felt even today. Helene killed more than 200 people in several states and hit western North Carolina particularly hard. Interstate 40 between Tennessee and North Carolina is still closed, with a portion of it open in Tennessee and a portion in North Carolina to open early next year as well.
Well, despite getting stuck in Hurricane Helene, one father traveled 27 miles, most of it on foot, to make it on time to his daughter's wedding.
Sam Perez has more on this father's unlimited love.
How far would a father's love go? For David Jones, 27 miles through a hurricane to walk his daughter down the aisle. I spent some time with him to hear about his determination to be there on her big day.
Every dad wants to walk his daughter down the aisle, so I got my chance.
David Jones hit the road Friday night, heading to his daughter Elizabeth's wedding in South Carolina.
That's usually a 2-hour drive. It didn't occur to me that there would be any trouble.
But around 2 a.m., when he got to a crumbled bridge in Unicoi County, he got stuck in Irwin.
It's incomprehensible, the destruction, this complete missing bridge and the gap and the rushing water underneath.
Jones, a marathon runner, was determined to get there, even if it meant walking the rest of the way to the church.
But I thought, it's 20 or 30 miles, I can do this. And so off I went.
He says he fell waist deep into sand. He climbed roots and trekked through mud and ran into law enforcement officers who advised him to turn around. His response?
And I said, well, you don't understand. My daughter's getting married at 11 o'clock this morning, and I'm going to be there to walk her down the aisle.
Jones says he traveled about 17 miles on foot and hitched a ride from a trooper and a passerby for the remaining 10 miles, finally arriving at the church at 7:30 a.m.
Dad was doing his dad thing and taking every measure he could to be there, but I had no idea.
Nice. That's a good photo.
He walked me down the aisle. Yeah, it meant the world because I'm really close with my dad. We're so similar, and he's always been there for me.
Walking miles for that memory. In Johnson City, I'm Sam Perez.
After the wedding, Marquez and her husband left for their honeymoon in Hawaii.
Well, July 4th held a special meaning for dozens of people in East Tennessee. This year, they became U.S. citizens. One new American shared a personal story that was truly straight from the heart.
Welcome to your new home.
This ceremony marks a new beginning for the soon-to-be U.S. citizens.
150 persons representing 45 different nationalities to appear before the court this morning.
In the crowd, Sahur Tabanja. The mother of 3 moved with her husband from the West Bank in the Middle East to East Tennessee 5 years ago with the hope of new and more opportunities that the American dream offers.
You have the freedom of speech, the freedom of worship, the freedom to think on your own and form your own opinions.
Well, the first reason we came here is looking for a better education for me and my kids, and then for a safe life for me and my kids and my husband. So everything we are looking is like a better future.
Sahur filled out forms, took tests, interviewed with immigration officials, and then waited for the government's decision to grant her citizenship. That 10-step process can span months to years to finally get to this moment. Sahur celebrates her future as well as her daughters. She says the sky is their limit.
Did you see that that judge who said the Pledge of Allegiance, they're gonna be in her place.
This wife, mother, and new American looks forward to the freedoms that come with citizenship. One in particular.
I never vote in my life in my country.
So this will be your first?
Yes, so excited.
Outside of the assembly room, Sahur and her fellow U.S. citizens are offered the opportunity to register to vote.
Alrighty, perfect. We'll send this to Blount County.
Her first act as an American, with the assurance of more to come.
Palestine, welcome to America!
I'm so excited. I can't even describe it. I'm so happy and excited, interested about the future that's coming and what's waiting for me as an American citizen.
And East Tennessee hosts naturalization ceremonies throughout the year in various cities around Tennessee.
Still to come, you'll see how one young fan turned into a social media star thanks to his impressive dance moves. This summer, the world watched with excitement as the 2024 Summer Olympic Games played out in Paris, France.
And for a native East Tennessean, it was a chance to relive the excitement she felt when she participated in the Olympics 40 years ago. Today, Sharifa Barksdale is using her time and talents to inspire future athletes.
I'm determined. I'm not going to let anyone tell me that this is impossible.
Sharifa Barksdale says she doesn't know the word no. It's just not in her vocabulary.
You know, when you have dreams and they become reality, then you feel like that you have done something.
The Heron native is channeling her determination to bring the worn and crumbled track that bears her name back to life. Early on, she recognized the transformative power of the asphalt oval.
It changed my life because I wanted something bigger and better.
Growing up in a small town, Barksdale was a standout at school, on the sidelines as a cheerleader, and on the hardwood.
My family was my foundation. My mother, my father, my sister, all of us, we are overachievers.
But the track at Heron High is where her destiny took off. She sprinted to 12-time All-American status at the University of Tennessee and eventually earned a spot on Team USA. The next leg of her journey, the 400-meter hurdles at the Los Angeles Olympic Games 40 years ago.
And although I didn't win a medal, but making that Olympic team was my medal. Coming in 9th place and being the ranked 9th in the whole entire world, that's an accomplishment within itself. And being an Olympian for the United States is the hardest team to make ever, even to this day. I would run right now, but I can't run right now.
These days, Sharifa cheers on up-and-coming world-class athletes. As a manager with USA Track and Field, she supports them along the path to their ultimate destination, the Olympics.
Because the energy that I give off, I want that same energy back, and I know I'm going to get it back.
Now she's giving back to the people of Heron by way of a new and improved track to inspire the next generation of athletes.
Because I will look at that little girl or that little boy as looking at Sharifa. What would I tell Sharifa? And that is, I am somebody. I will let nothing stand in my way because I can do it.
That can-do attitude kicked in once again 2 years ago when Sharifa and community leaders started fundraising for the track. They hosted galas and a concert, but when the dollars still came up short, Sharifa was not deterred.
I'm more successful when my back is up against the wall because I know how to work under pressure. I know what it takes to work under pressure, so I started making phone calls. I started sending letters.
Sharifa secured 2 anonymous gifts that pushed them over the finish line. Work on the track is now set to begin in March.
It's nothing but God. God gave me a mouthpiece to sit in front of them and deliver the passion that I have for this community, for this school, for Heron, Tennessee, for Roane County, to make sure this track is built.
And this Olympian is certain. The track, with her name cemented in Heron's history, will lay the foundation for the future.
Is there another Olympian to come out of Heron?
Oh, most definitely. It may be 2 or 3. But I do believe if I'm dead and gone, I believe that building this track put this track out here, there will be another Olympian that comes out of small town Heron, Tennessee.
Now, in September, Sharifa was in Heron to officially open a renovated track that does bear her name. Now to Jefferson County, where a 14-year-old is punching her ticket to athletic success.
Michaela Moon is a teen boxer at Jefferson County High School. She's ranked #1 in her weight class. On top of that, she won 2 silver medals and a bronze at the Junior Olympics. Katie Inman paid a visit to the ring to meet her.
An empty gym isn't quiet for long after Michaela Moon steps in.
I don't know. I'm a boxer. That's really it.
When this 14-year-old looks in the mirror, she sees strength.
And it's more like I can't explain it. It's one of those feelings. Like I feel like I've accomplished something. Just doing maybe little things.
This Jefferson County High School freshman spends as much time in the classroom as she does at Eppolito Boxing Gym in Knoxville. And she really rolls with the punches.
I honestly don't know what I would do without boxing because it's just been there and done me better than anything else has.
She has the headlines and the hardware to prove it.
I'm ranked #1 in the 110 weight class, intermediate. I have 2 silver medals and 1 bronze medal.
The bronze she won at the Junior Olympics, but none of this would even exist if she never took a stand at 10 years old.
I was bullied because I was overweight. I weighed 143, and in about like a year, I got down to about 110.
This small frame fighter has also shed her shy shell.
Eventually, it's just like I just kind of let loose, and now they want it down just a little bit because I talk a little too much.
But her discipline in the ring extends to the school day.
I've had a few teachers tell me good luck, and actually, I have a few teachers from last year and the year before that I still talk to.
She even brings her championship belts in her backpack to show the principal.
It's like a respect thing, kind of. I'm showing him, I'm talking to him about this stuff, and I'm doing my work, and he's giving me that opportunity to miss school for this stuff.
But she's not too flashy.
I try to keep it a little bit on the down low because people would think I'm bragging maybe.
In a male-dominated sport, this teenager goes toe-to-toe with top competitors, taking every chance to reflect.
I've seen people get upset because they lost. I think of that as a learning experience.
Looking through the ropes and in life, her heart truly beats in the boxing ring.
A wise young woman there. Well, on any given Tuesday or Thursday during the warmer months, dozens of local seniors take over at Knoxville Park.
I took a trip out to the practice to learn quickly that for these athletes, age is just a number.
It's the sound of summer with these seniors of summer.
Okay.
It's time for the young at heart to take on the mean greenies. I should mention those are 2 of the team names for Knoxville Senior Co-ed softball.
Bill, you were looking good in practice.
But now it's game time.
There you go.
It's very competitive. They say it's all for fun, but we're all competitive. It wouldn't be no fun if you wasn't competitive. But they say don't keep score. We do.
Honey, stop running. You're out.
All of the action both on and off the diamond plays out under the watchful and playfully critical eye of Linda Hickman.
I'm the unofficial cheerleader and the only official season ticket holder.
Hickman is quick with the advice.
All righty, run!
And the zingers.
Bless their hearts, they try. We'll give them that.
These seniors taking swings come from all walks of life, from professors and accountants to truck drivers and lawyers.
I play pickleball 3 days a week, and I play softball 2 days a week. And I sit on the porch and drink coffee with my husband in the morning. So I'm very occupied.
Very busy.
I'm booked up.
That's a common theme with these bustling boomers who are eager to stay in the fast lane by running the baseline.
Where to go, guys?
Woo. Now their joints may be a little tight, but the rules are blessedly loose.
We don't want nobody getting hurt here. And you can't tag out a runner. You can't block the bases. There's no outs. Everybody bats. We're just here to have a good time.
And that's really the main goal for these senior softballers, They set their own pace,
View my deceptive speed. I'm slower than I look.
root for their fellow retirees, and when needed, gracefully accept defeat.
They'll be on the cutting room floor. I don't know what's funnier, senior softball or t-ball.
Senior softball.
Now, the group plays softball Tuesdays and Thursdays at Caswell Park in Knoxville, again during the warmer months. Well, take a look at Kaysen Cagle. He's a huge Vols fan. Now his dance moves are blowing up on social media.
Now, it all started during the third quarter of the Tennessee-Florida game, which Tennessee won, by the way. As Sam Perez shows us, his moves are now legendary.
I always knew I had good dance moves, but I finally got to show them out.
13-year-old Kaysen Cagle says he's always loved dancing and the Tennessee Vols.
I think we got the best atmosphere in college football. Best environment, best everything, best stadium, best team, best everything.
He shared that love with Big Orange Country on Saturday in Neyland Stadium as the Vols battled it out against the Florida Gators.
My third game and my favorite one, of course.
He made it on the Jumbotron and started to dance. By halftime, his moves had spread across social media. By the third quarter, Cagle says he found out he was on ESPN.
I never experienced something like that, and I love the feeling though, because everybody loves my dance moves.
Now, even the Tennessee Vols have shared his dancing.
That made me like go insane. And then I checked TikTok and there's all kinds of videos about me. I'm just like, this is crazy. That's when I realized I was like actually like really famous.
All throughout the game, Kaysen kept those dance moves going.
I mean, yeah, I was tired, but like, of course I'm gonna do it. I mean, I love doing it. It's just, I love dancing pretty much.
Love for dancing that comes from watching his sister Carly, who was right alongside him at the game.
People were constantly yelling out of their cars, like trying to get his attention and stuff. It was just an insane experience. I was like, that's my little brother.
Kaysen says he was happy to use his moves to motivate the team and the fans.
What if we wouldn't have won if it wasn't for me? I also think like half the fans would have left the game with how bad we're playing if it wasn't for me.
The night ended in a win for the Vols and a win for Kaysen. In Knoxville, I'm Sam Perez.
Up next, the storied life of Big Al. He's been a Knoxville fixture for 5 decades, which is just a fraction of his legendary life. He's older than some of the most memorable moments in history.
And then later, this granny is not coasting through life, but she is riding roller coasters. More on this thrill-seeking senior coming up.
Welcome back. One of the biggest stars at Zoo Knoxville marks a milestone in 2024. Big Al, the Aldabra giant tortoise, has called East Tennessee home for 50 years, but that's just a drop in the bucket compared to Al's age.
Any good celebrity will tell you that the key to not looking your age is to eat right, stay hydrated, and get plenty of exercise. Which is why Big Al is the star of any show at Zoo Knoxville.
He's just so big. I've never seen such a big turtle, ever.
Zoo Knoxville isn't sure of Al's exact age, but keepers estimate he's between 125 and 130 years old.
Yeah, so Al came to the United States in 1974. He came to the zoo. He was an adult then.
And amazingly, this star hasn't had any work done. He keeps in shape through stretches, scratches, and lots of healthy food.
When it's very nice outside or very hot, Al spends most of his time outside. He might be soaking his pool. So he spends a lot of time sleeping. He'll move around and eat. It's a good life. He gets to do whatever he wants, basically.
But when it comes to his favorite foods, Al's always seeing red.
He likes all things red. I guess everything is tasty that's red. So watermelon, strawberries, tomatoes, but watermelon's probably by far his favorite.
When Al came to Zoo Knoxville, he was already older than the Henley Bridge, even Ayers Hall at the University of Tennessee. Al was alive for the sinking of the Titanic and World Wars I and II.
I've known Al personally for now 22 years.
Stephen Nelson is one of the caretakers for Big Al and says this camera hog always knows how to put on a show.
His size is just really impressive. There's not many 500-ish pounds tortoises around.
Al comes outside in the spring and will stay out through the summer, leaving lots of time to sunbathe and soak up the attention.
So when he's really hot, we make sure he has lots of fresh water. We'll spray him down multiple times a day. Reptiles are ectothermic, so they don't sweat. So if it's 100 degrees, they're 100 degrees. He's typically the last tortoise to come out for the summer, or first one to go in.
And before he goes in for the year, his fans get a few fleeting moments with the celebrity. Until next time.
He looks like a little mini dinosaur.
He looks like a dinosaur. That's
he does.
Because as any celebrity will tell you, you always want to leave your fans wanting more.
Al's been here since '74, so people have grown up with him. I think Al's a fan favorite for sure.
Big Al has retreated from the limelight for the winter, but rest assured he will be back in 2025. Up next, you'll see how an East Tennessee garden is helping our heroes. We'll show you this unique program for veterans.
It's like a nightmare coming true.
And later, we have a powerful story of a Tennessee mom who turned her family's unimaginable tragedy to fight for others.
Stars wide and alive at need.
That is a scene from the musical Knoxville, which debuted this past summer at UT's Clarence Brown Theater. It's the latest staging of the story, A Death in the Family, written by Pulitzer Prize-winning author James Agee. He grew up in Knoxville and features many local spots in the book.
Well, Knoxville the musical was funded by a foundation formed by another Knoxville native, Roy Cockrum, a longtime lover of the theater who became a multi-millionaire thanks to a very lucky ticket. We sat down with him at the Clarence Brown Theater stage to learn why the show must go on.
Before Roy Cockrum was a mega millionaire, he was a monk. Before that, an actor.
The theater has been my home most of my adult life.
This isn't the first time he's taken the stage at UT's Clarence Brown Theater.
And I actually performed on this stage in 1972 when I was a sophomore in high school. I was in a production of 1776 right here.
Fast forward to 2014, when the Knoxville native won more than $250 million in the Powerball drawing. He quickly put a plan in place to support his passion for theater.
When I had the opportunity, I wanted to inspire nonprofit theaters all over the country to do the best work they could do. And because that's what matters when people are working on theater, that it's the best that they can possibly produce and not be limited by funding.
He established the Roy Cockrum Foundation, and over the last 10 years, he's bankrolled theatrical and musical productions in Louisville, New York City, and San Diego, to name a few. But it was in Sarasota, Florida, where he helped to bring the musical Knoxville to life.
Every star is wide and alive at need.
Cockrum's former teacher and friend, Tony Award-winning director Frank Galati, adapted for the stage the Pulitzer Prize-winning novel A Death in the Family. Written by famed Knoxville author James Agee, it tells the story of his father's tragic death in a car crash. It debuted at the Oslo Theater in 2022, and its benefactor was there for opening night.
Knoxville, Knoxville.
After its run in Florida, Clarence Brown's artistic director Ken Martin says he was asked, why not bring Knoxville to Knoxville? With backing from Cockrum's Foundation, costume and set design are underway for a September 4th debut.
It's wonderful to know that there is somebody out there that's supporting these big dreams and these big stories that need to be told, that should be told. So thank you.
As for Cockrum, some could consider his story of an actor turned monk turned multi-millionaire stage-worthy.
It is a remarkable story. Do you think it could ever be a plot for a play?
You're not the first person to ask that question, and stay tuned.
And we are indeed. Now, it's worth pointing out that Cockrum doesn't seek out the spotlight. He prefers to stand off stage and let his foundation help others receive the accolades. He told us they've given away millions of dollars in the last 10 years since that foundation was established.
2024 brought us season 2 of our 10 Tailgate, celebrating the high school football season. 11 weeks with 22 teams all looking for a W on the field. John, Todd, Katie, and Cassie all visited area high schools in East Tennessee, and the students showed up and showed out, as they like to say.
But the real winners were those who helped us in our Tackling Hunger collection to help Second Harvest Food Bank of East Tennessee. The schools collected canned food items from the students, and each school went head-to-head online as well in our monetary donation. Now, in all, we were just shy, get this, of $20,000 and 6,700 pounds of food collected. Amazing.
Well, during the high school football season, our sports team visited plenty of games and learned amazing stories involving those off the field, including the story of the head coach in Gatlinburg, Pittman. Frank DeLuca has more on how the gridiron has helped him through grief.
You know, I've always told kids when life is tough, let football be your refuge.
This season, Gatlinburg Pittman head coach Tyler Williams has been following his own advice.
I lost my brother. I lost him to cancer. I'll never forget him. But on the other hand, doing something that I love, that's meant a lot to me, and it's just kind of been a welcome distraction as I kind of work through the grieving process.
It's a process that Williams hasn't had to deal with alone. When his younger brother Ward passed away in late August, the team began wearing W's on their helmets and decided to dedicate the season to his memory.
I honestly don't know kind of where I'd be right now without the people in this community and these kids and these coaches.
Ward Williams was only 29 years old and had just started following in his older brother's footsteps and began coaching himself.
He had been helping to coach football at Cosby and had been hired as the head baseball coach before he was sick. But he was a coach, and I mean, he went out and was in the dugout in baseball when he was taking chemo treatments.
And when Tyler Williams made the decision to coach just days after his brother passed, it wasn't just because football is his refuge, but because it was also the perfect tribute to Ward.
My brother would have said, go coach, you know, that's what you love to do, and I'll be there with you. And so I know he was.
Well, Oak Ridge boys basketball senior guard Brennan Scott has shown a lot of resilience in his senior season. As Emily Ray Cochran tells us, Scott showed how much of a leader he is when adversity came his way.
Brennan Scott's basketball journey started when he was 3 years old at just a small rec league in Oliver Springs. One of his earliest memories is the feeling of making a shot, but funny enough, one of his first buckets ended up going in the wrong hoop.
I came down the wrong side of the court and scored wide open. I was so proud of myself, and I saw everybody saying, no, no.
Those early lessons solidified Scott's love for the game, and fast forward 15 years later, he's a senior starter who averages 14 points this season at Oak Ridge High School.
You know, as a coach, as a high school coach, he's the type of kid that you want to coach. He's the type of kid that's unselfish. He's a great teammate.
Hey, Charlie, shoot the first one.
But earlier this month, everything changed. Scott was experiencing off-the-court problems, dizziness, and shortness of breath. A health scare during practice sent him to the emergency room. The diagnosis would keep him off the court for the rest of his career.
Get a stop, man, get a stop.
It really just felt like a stab in the heart because you never expect that to happen, and then when it happens, it's dang, you know, it's really how it is. You know, I don't really know where to go from here.
Scott has hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, the most common cause of cardiac death in young athletes, where the heart muscle gets so thick it reduces blood flow to the rest of the body.
I could tell just when he answered the phone that I didn't really like his tone. My first thought was just, you know, I'm glad they found it. Then the other part of me was, you know, just how sorry I felt for Brennan.
Since receiving the news, Scott has yet to miss a game or a practice, but his role has changed to a vocal leader on the bench. And he brings a ton of energy to practice.
Did you get that one?
Despite a life-altering change, Scott says staying involved in basketball is a way for him to give back to a program and a sport that's given him so much over the years.
It's really just for the love of basketball. You know, the love that I've gotten over the years just from playing this game. It's my turn to kind of give it back to the people who really deserve it.
Keep working, boy. It puts things back in perspective. As coaches, we get stressed out about trying to win a game. It's just that reminder of, hey, there's more to life than basketball.
Scott's heart condition ended his ability to play, but his heart still holds love for the game he started 15 years ago, and he hopes to inspire others struggling through similar obstacles.
And we do have all of our stories on WBIR.com and our WBIR YouTube channel. Up next, we are celebrating a living legend and the lasting tribute to him that was unveiled this year.
In 2023, tragedy struck Nashville. A shooter broke into a small private school and opened fire, killing 6 people, 3 young children. The quick police response saved lives that day, and those officers have since been recognized nationally for their heroic actions. One of those who died, Evelyn Deekhouse, who was 9 years old. She loved bright colors, music, and animals, and her family. Anchor Abby Ham talked with her mother, Katie, about Evelyn and how she's honoring her through her advocacy work.
She was such a kind soul. I know her sister would appreciate me saying this, but also had a very fierce side. She was a deep thinker, but also loved to just laugh and be with her family and her friends.
Katie Deekhouse pictures every single detail of her daughter's face in her mind every night at bedtime.
We tuck our girls in every night, and I had a mom who has been through a similar situation, saying she tucked her child in still after everything happened. So we still tuck both of our girls in.
She finds peace and comfort in her oldest daughter.
I chose the word hope as my word to live by because it's so important. 2023 was an emotionally hard year for me and my family, but there's always hope.
She shares these special words as she travels the state advocating for change.
Hope is like a spark. It's brighter in the darkness. I had never paid much attention to hope until my life was covered in darkness.
Voices for a Safer Tennessee caught Katie's attention soon after Evelyn's death.
Things feel fuzzy and you don't understand what's happening, and can this be real? So when we were going to meet with lawmakers early on, I kept hearing about this organization, Voices for a Safer Tennessee.
Now she is on the board and advocating for safer gun laws.
So those goals are improving our background check system and encouraging safe storage in cars and trucks, and then finding a way for a temporary transfer law, which is basically saying that a person that is a threat to themselves or others, how can we find a way to remove firearms from them temporarily?
It's this one that hits the hardest.
And you talked about not having bad feelings towards the person who did this. And I think that is so incredibly brave and inspiring to all, a message of forgiveness. Mm-hmm. How do you even do that?
There are so many people hurting out there. And I think we don't often realize we don't know what people are going through in life. The fact she was able to easily walk in and legally purchase what she did is hard for me to fully grasp.
Do you feel like your daughter would be very proud of you, looking down right now?
Yeah. She's always by my side. I look up to both our girls, so I hope she's looking up to me too. I just want our kids to, all kids, to feel safe.
And Abby's full interview with that mother is available on WBIR's YouTube channel under The Heart of the Matter.
In his ongoing series, Service and Sacrifice, anchor John Becker shares the stories of the men and women who honor their heroes, both past and present. In 2024, he profiled one East Tennessee veteran wounded at war who says he has benefited from lots of support and he's giving back with truckloads of dirt.
I want to thank you guys for
coming out.
A wounded veteran sets the priority for this charity build.
There are benefits with having your hands in the soil.
This wood and soil will soon become a backyard garden and the start of a healing sanctuary built by veterans for veterans.
So from time to time we have the opportunity to take a day and contribute back to the local veteran community and help honor those who have served before us.
Now, by finding this weapons cache,
this Marine combat veteran unearthed a major storage dump for enemy bombs during the war in Iraq. Decades later, fellow veterans will soon sink their hands in the dirt of his backyard, looking to soothe their stresses.
you've got to have that time out. You've got to have that mental time out. Take a deep breath, relax, become one with yourself.
Back in 2022, we captured another group of volunteers building a garden for a grateful veteran coping with cancer and post-traumatic stress.
It's just beautiful. I'm overwhelmed.
The inspiration for this homegrown charity Frontline Garden survived a brush with death during the war in Afghanistan. After bullets from an enemy machine gun riddled the body of Michael Trost, this soldier lost part of his hand, his leg, and faced years of therapy. But when he was healthy enough to work his East Tennessee farm, this wounded warrior found a new inner peace.
Physically, you're outside, you're in the sun, you're getting vitamin D, and you have a purpose. A garden gives you a purpose every day. It needs you.
Since that project almost 2 years ago, to say Frontline Gardens has blossomed is an understatement. They've built more than 50 gardens, and the idea is taking root in more states: Georgia, North Carolina, and Colorado.
So, I mean, it's just like catching wildfire.
Michael Trost planted the idea and credits his wife Stephanie with growing it.
I saw the healing that happened in Michael on our farm. And I told everybody his healing wasn't just his physical healing, but it was his spiritual and his emotional healing. And so that's when we knew there was really some depth to this.
Frontline Gardens, helping fellow veterans on the home front nurture new life and their soul.
Well, 2024 was a special year for someone very near and dear to all of us. WBIR anchor emeritus Bill Williams turned 90 years old back in March.
Well, we were thrilled to host a party for him, celebrating his legendary career and groundbreaking work. Plus, of course, he is one of the kindest people you will ever meet. A few months after that, we gathered at Fountain City Park to unveil the Bill Williams Bench, honoring our friend. And we got the band back together as well, with a visit from former WBIR sports anchor, now the voice of the Vols, Bob Kessling, along with a whole host of other anchors and reporters. Well, we hope to be as active as Bill at 90, and we hope to have the thrill-seeking adventures like another local senior adult. She's in her late 80s and loves to ride roller coasters at Dollywood.
And get this, her name is Jolene. Yep, we can't make that up. Katie Inman went full speed ahead with her.
At Dollywood, families find their own fun.
I thought maybe I'd be in the middle.
But for one woman,
ready?
It's all about adventure. This 88-year-old grandmother doesn't act her age. And that's just the way she likes it.
I love just experimenting with different things. And by doing that, I think you stay young. I may not look it, but I love it.
Being bold is in her blood.
I know, and I'm so much fun.
So is her name.
Jolene Hill.
But before you ask her favorite Dolly song...
Well, it's not Jolene, I can assure you.
You'll rarely catch this roller coaster regular on rides like the carousel.
I thought, okay, this is a downer right here. Now let's get back to the Wild Eagle.
Her friends support in spirit.
I always have to ride by myself because I come with a friend who had heart transplant, and she's not able to ride anything, but she's willing to sit while I ride everything. So she'll sit and watch me.
When this season pass holder is not at the park,
I volunteer 4 days a week and I go to the gym 3 days a week.
This retired teacher's assistant lives every day like it's her last, but it's not always been that way.
Well, I tell you, I didn't do a lot because my husband had Alzheimer's for 13 years before he passed away.
When a disease dared to steal joy, her heart stayed steady on track.
At the last, he wanted to ride them, but I was afraid to let him ride them then. So I said, I tell you what, you stand here and I'll ride it twice, once for me and once for you. So, okay. So that was okay with him.
Through every loop life throws, being a light is her favorite way to be fearless.
I love people. I love people. And so, anybody want to ride with me, I'll ride with them.
Oh, clear. So of course I had to accept the invitation. By her side on Big Bear. All right, here we go. Smiles and screams are hard to hide. Which is why we also had to give Wild Eagle a try. All right, here we go. She's soaring through her senior years.
You never know if you're going to be here tomorrow. So just make the most of every day.
Living with the joy of Jolene.
Hill also loves other adventurous activities like zip lining. She's never gone skydiving, but she says that's on her list. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Finally today, a young woman in Greenback is not letting her disability define her. In fact, this year she shared her amazing story in one of the world's most public places, New York City. As anchor Heather Wallaga shows us, with her determination and support and a love for baking, Casey Heron has the recipe for success.
1 box of yellow cake mix, cinnamon sugar mixture, which is here, bag of caramel bits, okay?
Mm-hmm. Following a recipe can sometimes be tricky.
I'll open if you want to pour.
But not for Casey Heron, who's confidently baking her way through Project Able, a life skills class at Greenback Public School.
Is there a lot left?
I do bakery, and I love to bake cupcakes and brownies.
Good job. All right, now you're going to pour that on top.
Casey has big dreams of opening her own bakery someday.
All right, let's grab your butter. All right,
and her
now,
teachers
the
are
next thing
cheering her on.
She's a great poster for students with disabilities as a whole.
From cheering on her classmates in football and basketball to supporting her big brother who's serving in the Navy. Casey has made it her platform on stage, competing in pageants for AmeriFest, which celebrates all types of beauty. In July, she was crowned Miss U.S. Star.
In the pageants, I cried. My mom cried too.
Because you were so happy?
Yeah, so happy to win.
Her accomplishments were recently recognized in our nation's capital by U.S. House Representative Tim Burchett.
She has a real heart for her community, and she volunteers at the Second Harvest Food Bank every week.
And all the way in New York City,
Casey!
Her photo was chosen to appear in Times Square to kick off the NYC Buddy Walk.
I go to Times Square, see my face.
On the big screen?
On the big screen.
We have to make 22 bags, correct? Okay.
Back home, Casey continues to inspire and help others, sorting bread for her school's weekend food pantry.
Okay. And she wants to be seen as equal. She wants to be involved just like her peers are.
And she's delivering the message that not only is she capable, she's more alike than different.
Ready? Now we need to go to Miss Thompson, Miss Handlewood, and Miss Kinsler.
Casey is a volunteer at heart. She and her sister also collected baby items recently for Hurricane Helene flood victims. Thank you so much for sharing this holiday with us. We hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving.